Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest Running Tales podcast. My name is Craig Lewis, and we're about to head off into another fantastic journey of an everyday runner who's done some extraordinary things in this sport of ours. But quickly, before we do, please remember to give us a like wherever you're listening and to make sure you subscribe so you don't miss another episode. Right, pause. Go and do it now. Go and do it now. Okay. Also, be sure to check out our website, runningtales.co.uk, and our Substack newsletter at runningtales.substack.com. Now, folks, Running Tale is a small and independent podcast. It's really just me and Michelle doing this with the aid of some amazing stories from runners out there doing their thing. So, listen, if you can help us by doing those things I mentioned above, or perhaps donating to the cause at Buy Me a Coffee, or simply suggesting our next guest and maybe telling a friend or ideally your entire running club about what we do, then listen, we'd be really grateful and it really does make a difference. Anyway, enough of all that. Let's get on to this week's podcast. And this week's guest is a truly inspiring runner in Sam Kirchin. So Sam's someone I've known actually for a while through Northampton Park Run, where he's a pacer and he runs the park run. And I was aware of his story, but for some reason, I'll be honest, and I'm honestly not sure why, it simply hadn't really crossed my mind to get him on Running Tales. He should have been on here ages ago telling his story because it's fantastically inspiring. But I did hear him speaking earlier this month on the 40 Runs Running Club TV channel on YouTube. And once I heard that, I knew I had to get him on the pod. So do go and check out that interview as well, folks, because 40 Runs has had such a hugely positive effect on Sam's life. And Sam's story, it started like so many others when he decided that he needed to lose some weight during the COVID lockdown and he started running. And of course, he hated it. But that didn't stop him from signing up for more and more races, and he even completed the London Marathon, often pushed into doing so by his wife, Lyndsey. And the couple, they even completed the London Landmarks half marathon together, despite the fact that Lyndsey was definitely not a runner and she barely even trained for the race, if you listen to Sam. Now, tragically, in January 2024, just 2 years ago, Sam suffered what is a incomprehensible loss when Lyndsey sadly passed away following complications from a long-standing liver condition. Left with 5 children to bring up and without the love of his life, Sam could easily have disappeared into a really dark place. But when he needed them most, he received support from his running friends at both Parkrun and from those at 40 Runs, the club which he was already a member of. Now, this is a really tough story, and Sam, of course, still has plenty of hard days, but it's also a testament to the power of running and of friendship. So, without further ado, let's head over and have a listen to my conversation with Sam Kirchin. So, Sam, welcome to the Running Tales podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I know your story isn't always starts with an unhappy situation, really. So I think maybe let's talk about that first. Obviously, a lot of this revolves around Lyndsey, your wife. Tell us all a little bit about Lyndsey and maybe some of the runs first of all that you two did together.
Well, we only did one. She was not a runner. She was not didn't do sports at all. She stayed clear of it. She told me she used to get notes to get out of doing PE and stuff like that. Sport was not on her thing. She grew up, her brother played football, but that was really it. So when she first met me, and I think the first week we started dating, she came to watch me play rugby in the middle of nowhere in Leicestershire. I think that was a bit of a little bit of a shock to the system.
Yeah.
Sunday morning, minus degrees outside. Yeah, the only run we did together, we did London Landmarks, and she wasn't sure she was going to do it right up until the day because she had a chronic illness, which sort of so she was tired all the time, so she'd be at work, and then trying to train was nearly impossible. I think the most she did was a 5K sort of walk run, and then just like on the day before, she was like, "Right, I'm going to do it," and I was like, "Oh my God, you're crazy, absolutely crazy." And fair play, she did it. I think we sort of walked the first 10K and then got a bit too much, so we walked the rest of it. But yeah, just an incredible experience to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you and I both know how hard it is to do any run anyway. So you must have been
Half
incredibly
marathon.
proud of her for doing that.
Yeah. I don't know if I was proud or thought she was incredibly stupid. I'm not sure. But yeah, fair play. She was very stubborn, so she said, right, I'm going to do it, and she did it. Fair play. Yeah. I just even thinking about doing a half marathon now, I'm like, oh bloody hell, that's a bit far, isn't it?
Oh yeah, well I'm
running.
supposed to be doing London landmarks this year, so I know how it's thinking, and I couldn't imagine doing it with no training.
Yeah, but it still blows my mind still. Yeah.
But I know she was quite supportive of the running that you did, and in fact almost like was more supportive of it at times than I think you were. She just used to enter you in races and go, go on Sam, go and do it.
Yeah. I mean, so I started running I've done running on and off mainly for weight loss, but started properly getting into it at the start of COVID like everyone else. I've played rugby, and I knew I was very, very overweight at the time, and I was like, as soon as COVID hit, I thought I've got to do something, or we lived in a flat at the time, no garden. I thought this is going to be bad, so I started running. And I think got to February of the next year, so February 2021, and I just went and knocked out a half marathon one morning, and I got back and she was like, oh, well, I entered you in the Northampton half marathon as a birthday present. She's like, well, no, you do that, you might as well just do the full marathon in October. And I was like, oh no. She's like, I was running with someone at the time, he was doing it. She's like, yeah, do it, I'll help you, I'll do the fundraising, everything. And pretty much on my birthday, she signed me up for London Marathon. I'd never done any races, I'd never even been to Parkrun at this point. And October 2021 London Marathon. And I would never have run a marathon if she hadn't have basically told me how to.
Do you think there was a bit of a wonderful naivety within her there, not really knowing what it meant herself, that she's just thought, you can do it?
Literally, come back. Oh, you just did a half marathon, fine, you can do a half. I was like, I don't think it works like that. But why not? Give it a go, see what happens. And then, same thing with the next one. And then, so I've got my 2 medals on the wall, and then she's going, oh, look, you've got space. There's space now for a third one. You can't leave it on 2, you've got to do 3. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. So that's, pretty much, that's my 3 marathons.
Yeah. And how good was it to have somebody behind you and backing you when you're in that situation and running? Because it can be a lonely pursuit sometimes, can't it?
Yeah, I don't think you realise at the time how much you need them people. Like the first 2, I wasn't part of any running clubs really. I think only the second one was when I started going to parkruns. I'd only been going to parkrun for maybe 2 months. So I didn't have no friends, family come out. It was just her, just supported me the whole way, just made everything easy, so I didn't have to even think about it, because it's so stressful just even thinking about running that far. Let alone having to deal with everything else like accommodation, food. It's huge, absolutely. And listen, I know this is the horrible part of the story really. You mentioned there obviously that Lyndsey had a chronic illness, and I suppose ultimately that caught up with her, didn't it? So she had autoimmune liver disease, which basically immune system didn't recognize her liver and attacked it. And then when she was pregnant, so she had a bit of liver damage, and when she was pregnant, it just got too much. Basically, just the body started shutting down. She ultimately ended up having a liver transplant, which actually went well, but there's a lot of risks and other stuff that happened that come along with it. And then she sadly passed away 2nd of January 2024.
So I mean, it's still extremely recent really, isn't it? You look at that as a couple of years, but it's sadly nothing, is it? And that left you had you have five kids as well, which
Yeah,
I'm sure keeps you. Well, I know it keeps you pretty busy, Sam.
yeah, just a bit.
How do you? I suppose the question I'm looking at is just to give people an idea, perhaps, of how running helped a bit down the line. Was how you would initially try and cope with that immense loss and gap in your life, where work, where at the same time as work has to continue, the kids still have to be looked after, life has to, for you and them, has to continue, but there's this gap where she was, and it must just be so hard.
Yeah, it's obviously at first it I wouldn't say it wasn't on my mind, but obviously it wasn't a priority, but I knew in the back of my mind, I've always done something, whether it's been rugby, kickboxing, the gym. I was like, if I need to, as soon as I can, get back out and just start doing something, have that time for myself. And it was hard, it was very hard. And then as soon as I signed up for London again, obviously I needed to do the third one. I did it for her. You have to be quite selfish, I think, even if you're doing a marathon anyway. I think, but yeah, I said at first it was hard to try and do something for myself, try and put myself first, try and make time for me. It was really hard. But yeah, luckily I managed to. I needed to do it, but I don't. Now I'm part of a running group, and I don't think if it wasn't for them being supportive, being there for me, I think I might have just disappeared off the running grid, to be honest. But them talking to me, and not necessarily about running, just about anything in life, that made me feel like I should probably get back to running now. Obviously I signed up for the marathon, so I had to, but yeah, but it was not easy training for London Marathon, whilst with everything else it was a lot of work. So I think that's unless I get in the ballot, that's my free and done.
Oh well, yeah, I don't blame you, mate. I've not been brave enough to enter London yet, so I think to do it 3 times would be amazing, and absolutely have confidence that you will do it. But I was actually listening to a different podcast earlier today from a friend of mine, Joe Harden. He does a podcast on the Everyday Athlete podcast network, which we used to be a part of, and I really enjoy that podcast as well. And the person he was talking to was talking about how sometimes you have to be that little bit selfish to be a selfless person and to provide for other people. And that sort of, it rings true, I think, with what you just said there, that in order to look after your children, and in order to be present yourself and work and continue with life, you had to be a little bit selfish, when that running enabled you to do that. How important has it been for you, and how does it help you to sort of show up every day?
Yeah, like I said, it just gives you that something, doesn't it? That just, like I said, whatever it is, whatever you do, it's just that purpose to show up every day, to be honest. Because until I started marathon training, so that would have been September, October. Then for that first 8-9 months, I didn't do a lot. I was in a bad place, obviously.
Yeah.
Days where I just spent the day in bed. I knew I was putting weight on, and it was just obviously depression and all the stuff that comes with it. It was just, yeah, as soon as I started training, I was like, that's it. I've got to do this, just for me, for everyone. Because when you're in that headspace, it's not good for anyone, really, especially yourself.
Sam, this might be an impossible question, but I mean, where do you think you'd be without running if it hadn't have happened, if you hadn't have had that marathon to train for?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't like to think about it. There were some really, really tough times. Yeah, it was. Yeah, for a few times I thought, like, drinking and stuff like that. I thought it crossed my mind. I won't lie. Yeah, I don't know, to be honest.
Well, mate, I think, and I know everybody else who knows you at Parkrun and so on, because we all go to the Parkrun in Northampton. For people listening and don't know Sam, maybe we all think you've just so incredibly brave and so brilliant what you've done, and how you've managed to continue working so hard for yourself and for your kids and so on. So yeah, big well done to you, mate, and you should always remember that. But you mentioned a running group that helped you, and I can see it emblazoned across your top tonight. And of course, that was 40 runs. And I mean, I knew your story anyway, but I got to know a lot more about it through listening to a conversation on their channel recently. So perhaps for people who didn't hear that, how important were 40 runs to you during that period, and I suppose before as well, because you were a club member even before, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. I wasn't. I was just sort of getting involved. I'd followed a little bit since my first marathon. I remember I was searching up YouTube videos on what to do for London Marathon, and it came across a 40 video, what to pack in your bag for afterwards. And I always remember the one thing I remember he said put a bottle of Coke in there. He calls it the red ambulance, and that always stuck with me. And I had it afterwards. I was like, this is the best thing ever. And then I sort of fell out of love with running after the first time I did London. And then once I started again, I started on YouTube, I started podcasts, and yeah, that's when I started getting more involved in the 40 community. I think I've been to the National Running Show, met him there, and it just struck me what I don't really know. It's like Spain. He was such a nice guy. I met him for 5 minutes in the queue. Obviously, I think he'd seen me in the group, but like he remembered. I saw him 5-6 hours later. We were in a queue for something. He's like, "Oh, what? You're going to come for the run? This what you got?" And I was like, "Wow, this like guy I just met him 5 minutes, an hour ago, and he's And then like I said, just went from there. And then 2023, they do Southend half marathon. They call it the Pink Picnic. So me and Lyndsey drove down there, took the kids. I went down there and met everyone, and it just sort of snowballed from there, really. But I wouldn't say I was very involved in the group. Like there's Facebook and stuff I'd post occasionally, but yeah, there's a few people so Adam, who we'd been friends on social media through the group, and just reached out to me afterwards. And yeah, he'd been through a similar thing. He'd lost a good friend to suicide. He just reached out to me, and just went from there, really. Just literally, they've done more for me than, it's bad, but my so-called, like my really close friends, just these people that at that point I'd never even met half of them. Most of them I'd never even met, and they were messaging me every day, checking in on me. And yeah, I think they were the main reason that I carried on, like I said, with running and just being part of the group. Unfortunately, I'm well known in the group because of a bad situation, but if it wasn't for that, I would really struggled, honestly, really. Even still to this day, I'll probably message or get a comment or a message from someone in the group every day.
Yeah.
And and it makes so much difference, like going to races and stuff. So we went to Vitality 10K, and there was well over 100. These people I saw running past me, I didn't even have a clue where they were. There's so many people in the group, but just we went down as a group. I think there was 10 of us from the Northampton group, went down and met everyone. It was just, it's just incredible.
How surprising was that to you?
Oh, shocking! Yeah, I remember, like I said, like with Adam, I hadn't really spoke to him, and he just started messaging me, just checking in every day, because like I said, he knew thing. And then one day he asked me for my address, and I was like, didn't think nothing of it. My head was all a mess, and he sent me like a giant block of fudge because he'd seen I'd liked a post that he shared. I think it was a family member or a friend, and he sent me a card, and I was just like, I think I started crying, to be honest, because no one, like I said, none of my friends, no one did that for me, and it was just incredible gesture. Yeah,
I suppose it just kind of speaks to the power of running as an overall thing, and the power of running clubs. And when things like 40 runs, and I know there's other clubs up and down the country as well, like they sometimes don't realise just how much of a power for good they are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I said, I didn't ask to be involved like I was. It just sort of happened. And I remember, so I think about 3 weeks after Lyndsey passed, it was the national running show, and I went down there. I was a complete wreck, but just these random people I'd never met, most of them, they literally just took me in, looked after me. Like, I don't remember any of that day. I was so emotional and everything, but yeah, like I said, these people I've never met just took care of me, just like I was a family member. Yeah.
No, it's absolutely fantastic, and a big shout out to 40 Runs and everyone involved for doing that and for everything else they do, because you know they're a very popular club, and sometimes when you get the bigger a club gets, the more I don't know, the more distant they can become. But I think it's definitely not true with them.
I think it's good because it is the biggest England affiliated running club in England or the UK, but there is a group sort of everywhere. So there's like a Northampton, like a subgroup. There's like, I think there's 50, 60 clubs all across the country. So you all have your little group, but you're all part of the bigger, whether you post on the Facebook page, whether you watch the YouTube videos. That's what I was saying to Hayden after the interview you mentioned the other day, that even though I found it through YouTube, through the podcast, it was Chris Ford who started it. It's not about him at all. You don't have to watch the YouTube videos. You don't have to buy the jumpers. You don't have to listen to the podcast. It's not about him. It's about the running community and being available for everyone and anyone of all abilities. And it's not like a traditional running club where you go to the track and you like all these fast elitists. It's whatever. So in our group, they meet on a Sunday morning. It's some person will be like, well, I'm training for a marathon. I'm running this amount of miles. Does anyone want to run with me? And it's just, it's more of a social thing with our one anyway.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that's certainly what I've seen from the group in Northampton when I've seen them out and about when I've been running or whatever. And I think that's just so important, isn't it? That idea of getting an inclusive group where everybody can go along, whether they're running 6-minute miles or 16-minute miles.
Yeah, and that's exactly how our group is. We've got Chris, who's, I think he ran about a 3.5 or hour marathon. He's in his 60s, I want to say. And then you've got people that are walking every week. It honestly doesn't matter. And the same sort of thing through that. A few months ago, a guy called Matt followed me on social media and Strava, and he's like, "Oh, we live near each other. Do you want to run sometime?" Never met the guy, hadn't really spoke to him, but same thing. We just started talking from there. We went and ran a half marathon together. We didn't run MK half marathon together, but we were both there. And now he's training for Brighton Marathon. He's going to schedule his long runs for a Thursday so I can go and run with him, just keep him company whilst he's training for a marathon. Just little things like that. I don't think you'd find anywhere else, to be honest.
No, that's brilliant, because it can be a solitary sport, can't it, running? And probably the last thing you needed was for it to be a solitary sport at that time with what you were going through. So to have that greater support around you and just to be able to get you out running and talk about all kinds of different things must have been brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like we mentioned, parkrun. I think I do most of my training alone. I did all 3 marathon trainings alone, but parkrun every week is just, as you know, it's just incredible. That's like another running family that I've got, especially because I do obviously pacing. So hundreds of people know my name. I'm like, hi. I don't remember half of their names, but I recognise their faces every week. Just that as well, running with people every Saturday morning. It's just, I look forward to that run out of all my runs during the week, to be honest.
Yeah, well, that was actually what I was going to come on to parkrun next, because I know along with 40 Runs, that's been one of the big things for you, and it really is such a lovely community down there, and not just at the Northampton Racecourse one, but throughout all the others at Northampton across the country. I mean, You mentioned you got involved with pacing and you get involved down there. I mean, how much of a big thing is park run for you with what you've been going through with your running generally, and for all those other people who you see there and actually you're able to help with your own pacing and so on?
Yeah, exactly like I just said. It's that's the one thing I look forward to every week. That's
Mm.
sort of my. I don't really have a run plan. That's I'll pencil that in. That's park run. That's my nice and chill, easy run. I can go around, have a chat, pace 35 minutes. Just it's just social, just meeting friends that I've made through parkrun.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's just another. I love it. I love parkrun. I think it's incredible.
Mm. How much does it mean to you to be able to give back a little bit at park run as well with doing the pacing and so on?
Yeah, do you know, it's something I never really thought I'd do or would be any good at. I don't know why. It was just one day I was like, they're like, oh, you don't have to sign up. You can just come on the morning if you want. And just, I was like, oh, do you know what? I'm going to go for it, see what happens. And then,
Yeah.
I think the first time I paced 32 minutes, I think I did 31:59 the first ever time I paced. And I was like, okay, I think I might be all right at this. And then, just, a lot of the time with the pacing, you're running, a lot of the time you are running on your own. But it's when you get to the end and there's someone, I had you in my sights, or I overtook you at the end, like it was like spot on. And just being able to help someone, because running, especially if you're going for a time, a PB or anything, it's hard having someone there to pace you, even if you can't keep up with them. Just having them in your sights, and just the comments and stuff I get afterwards, and it just makes my day. Just makes you happy.
Oh, definitely, right. I mean, I thought about doing it, but I know I'd be awful. I'd pace the time and be like 2 minutes out. I wouldn't be helping anyone at all. But I love watching all you guys and girls do it at Northampton and other places, because I see the reactions of the people who are running with you when they get that sub 32, the sub 30 with our friend Paul, who does it every now and again, and these various other times as well with all the other pacers, and just their reaction for them on that day. It just makes their day, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think we're quite lucky. So a lot of park runs, they maybe do, I think they have like a pacing day, a pacing event, sort of maybe once a month. So I think we're quite lucky that we've got regular 4 or 5 regular pacers, and then on any given week you can have up to 10. I've seen as low as 20.
Yeah.
Pacing. That's a massive thing for a lot of people, because a lot of people don't run with watches. A lot of people just park runs their one run of the week. That's where they gauge their progress. And I think it's massive. I think we're very lucky at Northampton Park Run to have that, to be honest.
Oh, I completely agree with you. It's a bit of a sort of a running joke sometime among the pacers as well, that there was an unfortunate comment a while ago about it being a non-essential role. But for me, and I know for you guys as well, it's not necessarily the most essential role. But if you're trying to get that PB, it is essential, isn't it?
Yeah, like I said, say every single week I have someone coming up to me saying, "Oh, thank you," and it's like, well, I just went out and ran. This is one of my runs a week. It's just I choose to put a vest on and stick to a certain time. It's not really, I'm not really going out of my way type thing. It's not. So, is it essential? No, but it's like I said, it's a great thing to have, because a lot of places don't. A lot of people will go looking for park runs that have pacers. So the fact that we have it nearly every week, we have, like I said, the same 4 or 5 pacers every week. It's just amazing.
I think so. I mean, the way I think about it with running and all of these things is, if we were to just do what was essential, you wouldn't have 40 runs. Is it essential? Probably not. Was it essential for Adam to call you and be your friend when you needed him? No. Is it essential for somebody to have formed Park Run 10, 15 years ago? Yeah. Not really. Anyone could go and run in a park. We don't essentially need it. The country's not going to collapse if it doesn't exist. And is it essential for you guys to be pacing? No, but it's still blooming important, and that's the way I see it, really.
Yeah, exactly. You go to any big race, they're going to have, on a park run, it's not a race, I know, but you go to any race, they're going to have pacers, aren't they? So why not a park run? Why not?
Have you thought about extending your pacing into races? Because you said you weren't that confident, but I know you're pretty accurate these days.
Yeah, something that I want to do. To be honest, apart from last year, so with running, like I said, I did London 21, but it didn't go great. I didn't run until maybe for a following year. Same sort of thing. 23, obviously, it's a bit different because obviously Lyndsey was in hospital and stuff. But I didn't run for again another year. The last year was the only real year I've been consistent with my running. That's the most races I've ever done. I can't remember, I did 5 or 6. So I'm just trying to get to races myself.
Sure.
So then trying to maybe fit in pacing, because obviously that's a commitment that obviously with the kids, if I've paid for my race and I don't turn up, well, I've lost my money. But whereas if I commit to pacing, it's a little bit different. Whereas parkrun is obviously, it's not the end of the world if I don't turn up 1 week type thing. I definitely would love to do it. Yeah, 10K, maybe a half marathon. I would definitely love to do it, but there's so many more variables with a longer race though. That's my only. I've never finished. I think I've only ever done one race and I finished it, and the distance has been dead on. So I think I was Milton Keynes half in December. I got dead on a half marathon, but so you've got, on a 5K you can make up a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So it does worry me a little bit, but I definitely love to do it.
I don't know if they're doing it this year because I think it's a run-through event, and I know they've had some shenanigans with paces, which we won't talk about because I don't fully understand what's going on there. But they normally have paces at the Northampton 10K, and that might be a nice one for you. But I don't know if they're doing it this year.
Yeah, something I have to look into. Yeah.
No, that'd be great. And talking of events, have you got anything? You got anything lined up to get involved in the next year or so?
No, I've been a bit. I said last year I sort of went all in. So I think I did London Landmarks, I did London Marathon, Northampton 10K, Vitality 10K, and then the Milton Keynes half. So I sort of went all in last year. But this year, the only thing I've got booked at the minute is the Vitality 10K. I will probably do the Northampton 10K because I've done that the past 3 years in a row. There's a few that I've got in mind. I've just not booked yet. So I'm debating the Kettering half marathon because my friend who's training for Brighton's doing that. I would probably definitely do the Milton Keynes winter half again. But yeah, this year I think it's just going to be a sort of not a down year, more chill, I think. Just try and carry on the consistency because, like I said, I've never been consistent enough. Like I said, past year is the longest I've ever been consistent. So it's just trying to keep that up, really.
Oh, definitely.
One more PB that I need to break that I set all of mine when I started running in 2021. So I've got one more to break, which is the 5K, which is for me, that's the scariest of them all. But I've got a 24:55 to beat. And that's the one that's scaring me the most. I beat.
Where are you at the moment on
that? So comfortably, I could do probably 25.5. So I don't think I'm too far off, but it's just getting in that headspace, that mind. And again, that's what you're saying about parkrun. So, Jan, one of the pacers, he's promised that he said that when I'm ready, he's like, I'll pace you, we'll do 25, we'll film it, we'll put it on YouTube. And I'm like, oh my God, that's a little bit more pressure than I want, Jan, but I appreciate it. But
I love Jan, but for people who don't know him, Jan is simultaneously both super encouraging to everybody and quite intimidating in the way he's encouraging.
He's nuts, but some of the distances and stuff that he runs is 25-minute 5K is a walk in the park for him. He'll probably barely break a sweat. He'll be wearing a coat. So that's my next goal, and then trying to do sub 2 hour half marathon. Did 2:01 at MK. So I'm not too far off, but that's nothing really planned. No plans on doing another marathon anytime soon, I can tell you that.
No, it sounded like the 10Ks and the halves are what you're
10K,
looking
isn't
at in
it?
future
Yeah,
now.
I think 10K is my preference. Like 10K, I said I beat that one at Vitality. So yeah, marathons are hard. I somehow I managed to get. I did PB every one that I did, but London Marathon last year, and that I think it was about 22 degree heat. It was.
Mm.
I, I felt like I was running in quicksand. It was horrible. And
Yeah.
considering it was my best, it was my fastest one. Just the memory of it, just the thought of running that again is, it's not the one.
I think most of us, unless it's these superhuman people out there, we're all a little bit scared of marathons, even if we don't admit it.
Yeah, yeah. I think 20 miler maybe. I do maybe do a 20 miler, but that extra 6 miles is a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, it's the famous old adage, isn't it, that
Yeah,
the
the
second
race.
half of the race starts at 20 miles, but it is
Uh,
just it's so true.
it is. Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, that is. Yeah, you think, it's not 6 miles. It's easy. It just seems to take forever.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
no marathons for now, I say.
But as you said, you've done three, and I just one of the things that pops into my mind is really like you mentioned at the start. I think that you've always been a rugby lad. You started running because you were getting a little bit bigger. You play as a prop. That's right, isn't it? So
Yeah,
you're going to be a big lad if
yeah.
you're playing in the pack anyway. Um, do you look back now and perhaps that person would have thought, I can't believe that Sam's run 3 marathons. He goes running every week. He's at a run club.
Honestly, just getting to 5K, you've like the first time I did it, it blew my mind. I still remember doing it now. Just yeah, I was a guy that I sort of used to do like the run to the next lamppost type thing. I remember I maybe do like 300 meters, stop,
Mm.
100 meters, stop. It took me 4 or 5 months to get to 5K non-stop, but then sort of after that, it then just went. I remember 8K, 10K, and then by like 4 months later, I'd done a half marathon. But
Yeah.
yeah, honestly, I hated running. I always hated running. I'd do anything to get out of it. Yeah, it was never, never. It was never fun to me. Never fun at all. But then I've
Mm.
also not exercising due to I do struggle with asthma. And then obviously being a bigger guy, my weight. But like I said, this year, with how consistent I've been, my asthma has been a lot more under control. So not only for mental health, but for physical health as well. I
Mm.
mean, you say that of bit about being a prop, but considering some of the guys that I come against, I'm quite small. I'm
Yeah.
only I'm around 100 kilos, and some of the guys I play each week are 115, 120 kilos plus. So the fitness sort of counterbalances it, shall we say?
Yeah, that's it. Well, the modern prop needs to get around the pitch, don't they? So you're set up for that.
Yeah, but then it means that I end up playing 80 minutes every week. It happened a few weeks ago. A lad, he'd been playing in the first team, been injured, and he's like, "Oh, I'm doing 20 minutes max." And I walked in. He's like, "Sam, you do marathons. You'll play 80 minutes, won't you?" Well, I was like, "Well, I do pretty much every week anyway." Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, so," but it gets me game time.
Yeah, definitely. No,
Yeah.
that's cool. I was gonna. You talked about sort of hating running, and I know obviously, part of the reason why you enjoy it so much now is the mental health benefits. But I think for you now as well, it's more than that, isn't it? You genuinely do love the act of running these days, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, I do, yeah. So I'd always, so like before, when I was like big into the gym, I think running, like I said, now what I've seen it could do for my health as well. Like I said, with my
Mm.
asthma and stuff. Like I said, it doesn't matter what it is, what you've got, what's your thing. I think like even going for the gym for your mental health, if that's your thing, then yeah. But like I said, now I'm seeing the benefits of my physical health, and I just love getting out no matter what the weather. Because otherwise, I think you just like people go to the gym or go and do an inside sport, and they're just like it's just a way to get out, see the local area. I just run around the local area really, but or if
Yeah.
I'm doing a half marathon, I'll run literally a big loop around Northampton type thing. But no matter what the weather, just forcing yourself to get out and doing that, it's just, yeah, I love it. And again, and the social side, like I said, with parkrun and running events, and it's saying that, and I'm torn because next week is the national running show, so all the 40s will be there on a Saturday. But I've also got a rugby match against a team that I used to play for, which I'm dying to play, and I'm really torn between what to do, because just going to the running show, just not even to look at the stalls, not to buy anything, just to meet my friends from around the country, because it's in Birmingham, quite central. I'm torn what to do, because it's such a big thing, just such a big part of my life.
Yeah, absolutely. No, the running show really is a great place to sort of connect with people as well, isn't it? I do see, when the couple of times I've been there, see people chatting and catching up more probably than they are looking around the stalls, as you say. So 100%.
I don't think I bought anything last year. I don't think. I literally just went to meet people, and I think, and this year the 40 runs do a live podcast. They didn't do it last year, but they're doing it again this year, so it means a lot of people will be going this year. So I've asked them if they can change the rugby to a Friday night. So we play Friday nights. Fridays nights are normally better for a team, because obviously people get the whole weekend off then if they've been at work and stuff. So I've cheekily asked if it can be swapped.
Oh, I think they should. I think we need a petition, Sam. We'll all sign it for you to get Sam playing rugby on Friday and down to the running show on Saturday. That's what we need.
Like run Saturday morning and then straight to the running show.
Yeah,
that's the best case scenario.
Awesome. Well, I hope that. Yeah, I definitely hope that all works out for you. And just finally, mate. What would you say to anybody who was, I suppose, well, I'll put two scenarios, but it might be the same answer. Either was in the situation when you started running, when you hadn't run at all, and you were a bit overweight and you wanted to lose some weight, but also obviously in the situation you were in after you sadly lost Lyndsey. What would you say to them in terms of the power of running, and that actually don't just sit around and wait for life to maybe find you, go out and run, and that will help you to find life?
Yeah, exactly that. You've got to start somewhere. It's just about taking that first step. I know people that have, like I said, joined the 40 runs group that haven't even started running yet. They just want to, and just that power of get people around you. Tell people that's what you want to do. You need to do this. Tell your friends, whatever. You need to try and find someone or something to hold you accountable, really, because it's all good having these thoughts and ideas in your head, but it's another thing. It's another thing doing it. So with the running at COVID off, I saw Lyndsey used to take pictures, and I saw the picture she took of me at rugby, and I thought, oh my god, like, am I really like that big? And just that little one thing, when COVID hit, I thought, oh, this is not gonna go away soon. I've got to do something. And yeah, but it's hard. Even like my weight's gone back up and down since, but that's not the end now. The goal is to carry on. It's hard to start. It's very hard, but I said maybe finding a running group, or especially parkrun. Like, so many people started there just walking. You walk with the tail walkers, make friends. It might motivate you. I'll see you next week to go again. Just that. It can be anything. You probably won't know what it is. And it will just happen, and then and you've got to find that thing.
And before we know it, we'll have them running around with you doing 32 minutes or whatever you're pacing.
Yeah, not 32 anymore. I do 35, so then I can go and play rugby in the afternoon. So, but I'll go and pace 32, but it'll be a little bit risky. But yeah, exactly. I'd only done maybe 10 or 15 park runs before I started pacing, and I did that just knowing that there's certain people there every week that want me there, is
Yeah.
that's sort of holding me accountable then as well. So I don't have to turn up, I don't have to commit, like I said, but just knowing that there's regular people that I run with or run around me every week, it's just, yeah, and it's getting them running. There's a guy called Nathan, he was running behind me a long time ago, and now he's following Pete at 34, and then it's getting him out running more he's doing a 10k on a Sunday now. But and he said, I'm not a runner, I'm a big guy, I don't do much else apart from work during the week. And just seeing him go from struggling to get anywhere near me at 35 to now going sub 34 is just, it's just an incredible thing. It's just so much progress you can make, and yeah, and don't compare yourself to others. That's the thing.
Yeah,
is people going, oh, these people are running 20, 25 minutes. Just don't.
No, 100%, Sam. I completely agree with all of that, and it is wonderful to see people like Nathan and others putting themselves out there, achieving things they didn't think they could do, and loving running, just as you've come to love running as well. So thank you massively.
I'll talk anyone's ear off about it. I love that as well. I have people, I said, friends going, oh yeah, I want to start running and this, and I'll talk their ears off about it.
Yeah. Brilliant. Sam, thank you so much for joining me tonight on the Running Tales podcast.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. I massively appreciate your time. I'll catch you at a park run soon. Folks, if you've enjoyed listening to my chat with Sam tonight, please give us a like, subscribe to us wherever you listen to the Running Tales podcast. Go and pop along to park run. Big shout out to 40 Runs as well. Check them out. And folks, we will be back next week with another episode of Running Tales.